everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk Lego. This is a new series that I'm going to be doing where you usually won't hear an intro, but on the first episode I'm going to do one to sort of explain what this series is. Think of it kind of like a podcast. We're going to kind of do these weekly, so if you're interested and you like the episode, please make sure that you're telling me in the comments below whether you like what I'm doing here, because if not, then we'll change it up. But on this first episode, I have Rosy here with me.
Hello.
And we're going to be talking about whether Harry Potter sets are getting worse. I believe that they definitely had their peak when they first came out. Would you agree or no?
I wouldn't particularly agree. I think one of the reasons we say that is because when they came out, they were so much better than the sets we had in 2010, 12, 11, and all the ones back in 2001. That we were just like, okay, these are amazing. But I think they've kept that quality up until probably just until Last Wave, because Last Wave was a bit odd. They gave us the books and the mosaics, and we were like, okay, thanks for that, but we want to add to our Hogwarts expansions. There's still a lot of things they missed out from the films. Especially the Goblet of Fire, I think.
Right.
But, I think generally the quality of the sets has been at least maintained, if not got better.
Yeah, I mean,
3-4 years.
I think it's an understatement to say that I personally feel like the Harry Potter sets are some of the best built sets that we've had come out of Lego in recent times. Like, some arguably better than some of the Star Wars waves that we've seen, like the new 2021 wave. Obviously they're downscaling all of the Star Wars ships and everything, but with Harry Potter they seem to just know what prices should be the sort of sets, what sets should be the prices that they're set at, and also and also they know, I think they feel like they know a little bit better when it comes to like how big a set should be. Obviously we've talked before about like how the Night Bus is a great like £30 set, and it fits directly into that sort of bracket of also good for people with just buying it on pocket money, but also looking good for the adult fans to actually buy it and have a Night Bus for display.
Yeah. I 100% agree with Harry Potter especially, because of how old like the whole franchise is now. It's obviously getting over 20 years old. You have to strike a balance between the kids but also the adults, and I do feel that Lego do actually strike that balance most of the time.
Yeah, I especially think with Harry Potter, I think that obviously the one call out for that is probably the books, and obviously I've released a video on the books. I've given my opinions multiple times. I'm sure everybody here knows my opinions on these books. Just to give them sort of clarity on your opinion on the books, what do you think about these new book wave?
I wasn't. I'm still not that much of a fan of them, because they're so out of left field. They're just, they don't blend into the rest of the sets.
I completely agree. Yeah.
They display really good on their own. It's fine, but they don't display really well with the stuff we've already got. And I feel that's good. Obviously, it's going to be the same with the 20th anniversary stuff, right? So,
yeah. So I was discussing this with somebody before, that the new Hogwarts sets from this year, and obviously the ones that we've got coming out this summer, they're incoherent with the sets that have come out already in 2018 and 2019, and I feel like that's a big misstep. Whereas I think that they should have done a lot more sets that surround the castle, not necessarily expansions, but obviously, again, like things like the Night Bus being a great £30 set. It's nothing to do with like Hogwarts and like the expansions, but it is still very grounded in the Harry Potter universe, and you can display it alongside your other Harry Potter sets and it not be too out of place. And obviously with these books, I guess you could argue that if you have them in classroom form, it could display well with other sets, but at the same time, I think everybody that I've spoken to, at least, displays them in the book form separate from their other sets.
Yeah.
Obviously the minifigures are, like I say, everybody knows my opinions on the books. The minifigures are great.
Yeah.
I love the minifigures. The even though we haven't got like, even though we've got some of these minifigures before, obviously the crest is nice, a nice throwback to obviously previous Lego made characters. And I still stand by the point where I don't think that these shields on the jumpers are going to be like a main thing. I think they're exclusive to these books. Obviously, we'll see if I'm people. Yeah, people watching this like past June will be like, he was wrong. But I truly think as of this point the shields will not be on the jumpers. Because I think that would be a silly marketing decision by Lego, but it's Lego. We'll see what they come out with, I guess. But at the same time,
frustrating though. Oh, go on.
At the same time, I was just agreeing with you. The books feel very out of left field.
Yeah. And what's frustrating about them though is it's with the 20th anniversary stuff. Obviously, we know it's not going to display well with the stuff we've already got from 2018, 19, 20, right?
Yeah.
But that makes sense because obviously they're based off the 2001 sets and they were vastly different than
completely agree.
We've got now. So
and it's a very nice revamp. I want to say as well. Like, obviously, everybody knows that there are leaks out there to see, and obviously we won't be describing them or anything, but you can go and find them. So we know what the sets look like at this point, and you can definitely tell that they're based on the 2001 ones. And I think that they are going to annoy a lot of people that already have the full expansion. If that makes sense, like if you've got all the expansions of the current Hogwarts, and then obviously these new ones come out with the green roofs, like with the classic, look, there's not a lot of wiggle room in there to display it with you, with the new ones.
They'll be more annoyed if they gave us more of the same, so made it similar enough that you could display it, which wouldn't be representing the sets they are trying to, and just basically stuck a 20th anniversary logo on it. I mean, at least we're getting something new, right?
I mean, maybe, but then I think it goes into probably one of the next topics that we've got, which is, should they remake some of the sets that they have already done from the 2018 wave? Because personally, obviously, I'm a massive fan of the Hogwarts Express. I think that's a given, considering obviously the love that I've had for the mock that I've done and everything like that. The 2001 Hogwarts Express, you could argue, is one of the coolest ones.
You could argue that.
Well, I mean, if they gave that train the new Lego wheels, I think it would be a considerably nicer train than the one we got in 2018. Obviously, there's a lot of new pieces now, which I appreciate them using. But like it just goes to show, and I think maybe looking at my mock is a better example, that you can do a very, very nice looking Hogwarts Express for not a lot of piece count, using fairly common pieces. Like, it annoys me that they still do it in the red color that they constantly go with, considering it's the wrong color. And I will argue to anyone to this day that refuses that it stands by the fact that it's a bright red instead of a dark red. But it just goes to show that maybe the 2018 one wasn't the best train that we got. And I know that they do have to tailor towards the kids and stuff. But now I feel like it's a time where they could have done a 20th anniversary one, maybe an 18 plus range, to really tailor back to that first Hogwarts Express, like base it off the 2001 one, give us a 20th anniversary figure, and go all out, like make the train have the nice, give us new wheels, give us the accurate red, give us track, make it like the crocodile locomotive where it's got like a nice stand and it's got like the plaque that says Hogwarts Express, give it some love, because I just feel like they make the Hogwarts Express as a necessity rather than something that they actually care about. And I think, again, it comes back into, do Lego really care about the sets that they make? Clearly the employees care. I think they must care, otherwise they wouldn't put much, otherwise they wouldn't put a lot of design and love into their sets. But at the same time, like, there's so much room for improvement sometimes, and we see that clearly with the Hogwarts Express.
I think with the 2018 wave, obviously we didn't have Lego Harry Potter for 6 years until that point, so I thought, I do agree it makes sense for Lego when you do give us that Hogwarts Express for the first time in forever, since 2010, that they do give us a Hogwarts Express that all the kids, the teens, and the adults can all enjoy.
Oh, I 100% agree. I 100% agree that was probably the best marketing decision. If they come up with the 2018, if they came up with the 18 plus, Hogwarts Express back then, I think it would have been, we would have been complaining the exact same way, how it's a bit of out of left field, even if it would have been really, really good. But what I'm saying is, now that they've had the 2018, they've had the 2018 one.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's had a 2018 one for three odd years at this point. If you bought it when it came out, is it time to re-release something like that? And would we see Lego doing re-releases of things like the Hogwarts Express, the Quidditch set, the Aragog's Lair? I know you've got a lot to say on the Quidditch set, so I'd like to hear that sort of opinion.
Yeah, it's not just the Quidditch set. It's not just Hogwarts Express set that needs remaking. It is the Quidditch set, is the Hagrid's Hut set, because the Hagrid's Hut set we got is actually different than every single other Hagrid's Hut set we got, because all the others have been based off films 1 and 2, where this new one we've got in 2019, I think it was.
It was
one of those
2018 or 2019, one of them.
It was based off the Prison of Azkaban, where it had that extra little hut. So if they were going to re-release Hagrid's Hut, I'd rather it be off one of the older renditions of it, where it's just the hut, and it can pump that extra piece count into a bit of the Forbidden Forest into Aragog's. Like, I know we've already got an Aragog's Lair, but I mean an actual proper Aragog's Lair, where we get maybe brick built little spiders, and maybe a Ford Angler that's beaten up. Stuff like that. We
were talking about this point before, how they focused a lot on the first 2 films in the wave, but they really missed the mark on something like Hagrid's Hut, how every single one has been based on the first and second film. And yes, it's nice to get one from the third film, especially with that molded buckbeak. I think that is hands down one of the best things to come out of that wave. The molded buckbeak looks incredibly nice.
That and the stag,
100%. However, I do agree with you when it comes to getting maybe a better Aragog's Lair. And even if they wanted to name the set Aragog's Lair and literally just give Hagrid's Hut as part of that, I think that would also be fitting, because obviously they go from Hagrid's Hut into the forest to find Aragog's Lair. And I think that's the reason that Aragog has come with all the previous Hagrid's Hut sets, because clearly they've been based off the first and or second film. Sorry. The main thing that I would personally like is like what you say, tiny brick built spiders, probably based on the one that we got for the $12.99 set back in 2018, I think it was. but then have a big Aragog, because
And the one from Lord of the Rings.
like the one from the Lord of the Rings, because I don't know his name. I still don't know his name. But that spider looked incredible, and I don't think it was too uncanny from a real spider for it to be a marketing problem. Because we've talked about before how if they make spiders too realistic, nobody's going to buy them.
Which is a real point, yeah. Like if they're going to make a big UCS 1,000-piece spider, no one's going to buy it. But
No,
if
100% not.
That doesn't excuse them for doing a decent, detailed spider like we had in Lord of the Rings, which we haven't really gotten with Aragog in any of their renditions, if I'm going to be honest.
No, like, I think the best example is the one with fucking swords for legs. Like
2010.
Yeah. Like,
but that says it all, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah. I mean, when did do you know off the top of your head when the Lord of the Rings sets came out?
It was after 2010, before 2015. I think. I'm not sure.
I mean, so clearly we went from sword legs to actually decent looking spider in the space of a couple of years. You know.
Uh-huh.
I don't think, especially with this new wave, Aragog's Lair shouldn't have been a 12 quid set. It just shouldn't have been. It should have been a 20 to 30 pound set. It would have been such a nice set. I don't know what they could have done for the 12 to 13 pound set with like 2 minifigures. They could have re-released the troll set.
Yeah,
like, I mean, that would have been a very, very nice.
Neither of the minifigures were unique, I believe, because I think they both came with the Hogwarts Express set.
I think I think it was the
Was it the Whomping Willow?
No, I think Whomping Willow. Yeah, it was those 2 minifigures. Because I've got about 3 sets of those, and that's not including the 2 sealed I've got. So I've got technically 5 renditions of those figures. But I just wish that they had put more effort into something like Aragog's Lair, and I know people are going to be like, but it was the first wave, and I get that, but what we're saying is should at this point, should they remake Aragog's Lair into a new set?
Yeah.
And give it the love that I believe it deserves.
Yeah.
And that's coming from a guy that hates spiders as well. Like, it's just an integral part of that second film. It is such an important scene, and to see it done in a £12 set, I just don't think it gives it justice.
100%. I think it's the same with the Quidditch set. I mean, obviously, the Quidditch set that we got, it was really great price. We were getting 6 figures, 4 unique, 500 piece, and it had only retailed for £35. But at the end of the day, it was still the same in the others in respect to the fact we got 3 hoops, not 6. So we haven't actually. You need to buy 2 of them to actually have a full Quidditch set.
And I mentioned that in my video, of course, because I've already made a video on the £35 Quidditch set, and I give my opinions on what I believe that set should have been with the battle packs and the and the big sort of, not UCS, but like a big set, like 80 to 90 quid, on giving us a proper Quidditch pitch with the three hoops on either side. And I still think that is the definitive best way to do a Quidditch set.
You can't do a Quidditch set cheaply. It's like trying to make a Hogwarts set for cheap. It doesn't work because there's too much.
It's too much
stuff.
going on.
You've got all the stands, you've got all the figures, the heaps and stuff. You can't. You can make it as cheap as possible and great value for money, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be limited in what provides when you charge it that cheaply.
And obviously now we've heard the rumours about the new Quidditch Pack and the new Hogwarts Moments book being based on this Quidditch stuff, and I have a feeling that this is probably the worst decision that LEGO could have made to try and give people the Quidditch set that they want. I did mention in my video about having a student pack which gave us all 4 of all 4 houses, and I think that's definitely a good decision.
Yeah,
I think having that as I mean, I would have preferred the battle packs personally, with each house being represented as a different battle pack, so you could just build up the teams that you wanna have. But I understand that Lego's a business. They're going to make it the most expensive way to get all 7 of the players. You know.
But the problem is, you're just getting 7 renditions of Cho Chang or Draco Malfoy.
Exactly, and also it might. I've said this to you before. If they're putting Harry and Draco in one set, one, it renders the CMF Draco utterly useless. Yeah. Which was a nice exclusive fig at the time. And are Harry and Draco going to have short legs? Because obviously, if it's based on the second film for Harry and Draco, I think so as well. So are they going to have short legs?
Because it's not based off the books, obviously, the Lego sets. They're based off the films. And the only time you see Draco playing Quidditch, I believe, is the first and second film.
Well, it's only the second film. He only plays in the second film.
Yeah. Sorry, the second film, yeah. So it would have to be the short legs.
So he would have to have short legs, which means not only do I have to buy £105 worth of these sets to just get all 7 of each team, I then have to then go on to Bricklink and buy 6
pairs, legs.
Yeah, I might as well just buy torsos. I might as well just buy torsos at this point and capes, and then just custom make my own figures. If they have short legs, I think people are going to be annoyed that they can't. Like, especially if they gave. Imagine if they gave them printing. Imagine if they gave the legs printing. I don't think they will, but if they do, and they give like the adult players the shin pads and also the shin pads on the smaller characters, it would be awesome. But at the same time, I'd then have to go and buy even more packs.
I feel they may do something though, especially with Draco Malfoy. They can't give us the exact same figures, surely not.
Well, I mean, it is Lego, so we'll see.
Something.
Well, it's Lego. We'll see what they do. And I think that leads on to the rumor about the book. And I think this is an awful decision.
obviously we've already talked about the book.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
We don't need more of them.
The thing that really sort of gets me is the fact that we've had the price list and the set names for a while now. Obviously, there's only one around £30 thing on that list, and obviously we can assume that it's a Hogwarts Moments book now based on these rumors. Yeah. But at the same time, why are we only getting 1? Like, it seems like if they did another 4, that would make sense, because they could. I'm not saying I want another 4, but at the same time, like, it seems really random to just get 1 book, and maybe it is like the Quidditch Through the Ages book. But like they've done the 4 houses, and that makes sense.
That's why it was 4, right?
Exactly. So why are they doing a 5th, and it's going to be completely random?
It would have been a marketing decision. Maybe they sold well. I mean, it would surprise me, but I know people who have Harry Potter sets, and the only sets they have are the books. Wow. I don't know if that reads into...
they are missing out on...
I don't know if that reads into anything marketing-wise, but I think they wouldn't have flopped, otherwise we wouldn't be getting more of them.
Well, I mean,
even if we're only getting 1.
I mean, obviously, I don't think any Lego... Okay, this is a bad sentence, but I don't think any Lego truly flops. There's always somebody buying Lego for some reason or another. There are sets that sell worse than others, and unless you're talking about the sequel sets, I don't think anything has truly flopped. But these books do seem very, very random. And I think I would like to see. I would have loved to see this as an expansion. Even if it was like just a £30 expansion. I think, again, the scene that it's based off of, if it's to do with the Quidditch stuff. The rumors is it's based on the Up scene. One, it needed more minifigures, and two, what's the build gonna be? You know, like
I can't even
like
fathom
some
it.
grass. It's the most boring thing ever. Like,
at least with the figures that we might be getting in the Hooch, she does look to be different than one we've already got in the Bricktober pack.
yeah,
And hopefully that would be the same with the new Malfoy figure that we get in the Quidditch Battle Pack type thing.
yeah, and I think obviously with potential figures that we could get as well, because we obviously know that there's the Hooch is rumored for this set, but also that there are 2 students rumored as well, and obviously the 2 students in my mind are probably going to be Harry and Draco.
I think it would have to be Neville, surely.
Well, that or one of them is Neville, but I can't see them not having Harry in a set like that. But I do think that this could be a very, very good opportunity for them to give us another Remembrall.
Yeah.
And if they don't, I'm going to be very, very annoyed. Because that old piece now is worth like loads on Bricklink.
Oh, I haven't even checked it actually. It doesn't surprise me.
Well, I mean, it's the only time I think we've ever got a Remembrall.
Yeah. And it was 20 years ago, I believe, was it? Or 19?
It was
a long time
something
ago.
crazy, yeah, like that. So finding one now, one in a good condition, and 2 not through the roof expensive, is pretty difficult. And I also think that even if you included something like Hooch, Neville and Malfoy to sort of cap off those things, kind of makes Malfoy again kind of useless, because it would be the same Malfoy figure that we got in the Monster Book of Monsters, the potions book. You know, I just think that would be a terrible decision.
Yeah.
But it is Lego, so we'll see what they do.
I think they've only got those 3 to pick. You know, Harry, Neville, or Draco. It's going to be a combination 2 of the 3.
Yeah, they're not going to include like Wood. You know. Oh, no. Actually, that might be a decision if they included Harry, Oliver Wood.
Surely you'd have McGonagall, not Hooch.
That is a very good point.
And
but like,
they would not give us another McGonagall in the book.
I don't think so. No. Yeah, I don't think so. But I think that would be, again, a very strange decision. Imagine if they gave us Hooch, Neville, and Oliver Wood in the jumper. I mean, that in my mind could be the case. Because then you could have then you can have the new the trunk. Because it's the same field that Wood takes him to, where they do the up lessons.
Yeah.
So that would make sense, in my opinion, actually, and then that's kind of now my new headcanon. But
it wouldn't surprise me, because obviously it's like the open secret of these books. I think Lego know it, and everyone else who collects the guy button knows it, but no one's like being open about it. The reason why we're getting these books is because of the figures. Like,
yeah, 100%. Well, I mean, that's the reason we're getting the books. Obviously, for children, it might be different. You know, they might be getting it just to play with in the car and stuff like that. You know, they're built very much to be a take-along toy. But obviously, the reason we're getting them is for the figures.
So it would make sense to give us these, because I haven't had an Oliver Woods, I think, yet.
We had one in the Quidditch set. We have Oliver Wood in the Quidditch set. Yeah. But at the same time,
it'd be a different clothing. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be the nice jumper rather than a duplicated Quidditch robe over and over again. But I think that I do think that remaking sets from 2018 is a good decision, and I do feel like we're at that point now where they could do it and people wouldn't get pissed off. I know that Star Wars obviously redo sets every fucking year, you know.
77 land speed.
Yeah, like at this point I think there is about 6 land speeders.
Yeah.
Not taking the piss.
Yeah.
You know.
It's not just the 2018 sets though. You've still got a lot of, obviously, like I said before, with the Goblet of Fire, you've got the Maze.
Yeah, we've got Mist sets still.
Endless.
Like there are. We always have the debate of how long Harry Potter is going to go on for, because I don't think it's going to be an ongoing thing like Star Wars where it will go for the rest of time. But no. At the same time, I do think that obviously we've got sets this year. We know they're coming. Next year, I guarantee you that's when they'll pick up the Goblet of Fire and the Deathly Hallows sets that we've missed. Stuff like the second task, the Durmstrang ship, and then we'll get some, stuff like the tent from the Deathly Hallows as a nice small set, and some other scenes. I think it'd be nice to get some scenes that obviously not to do with the castle, but still part of the Harry Potter line, like we were saying before. But obviously, after that, do we then go back to re-releasing some sets from 2018, stuff like the Hogwarts Express, giving us a nice rendition and a new Quidditch set? Obviously, people are asking still for this, but it's whether Lego will keep the licenses enough to do that kind of stuff with sets. And I think if they do stop it, I think the new age of like Harry Potter sets won't die for a very long time. No. Obviously, there are people like myself making mocks pretty much all the time, and now we've got like a abundance of new figs to fill those mocks and just take it to the next level. And I think that's great about the whole Star Wars mock community, how they've just been able to do it for so long now. And it's nice to see a bunch of Harry Potter creators doing the same thing, myself included.
Well, obviously, it's quite confusing, because if you obviously from the last 3 years we've had the first waves are basically based off sets from films 1 and 2. We did have the Hogwarts Express, which I think was the only exception.
Based on the third film.
Then obviously it went on to films 4, 5. Now we've had a few films from film 6. Had a few sets from film 6, and I think it would make sense now for this year is to go with Deathly Hallows sets. But the fact that they're going like, hey, we're going to go a bit weird here, we're going to go a bit off track, give us some mosaics, give us these books, it tells us that, okay, they're like suspending the current theme, so maybe they're planning Harry Potter for actually a few more years, that they're going to go on this wild goose chase this year, the 20th anniversary sets and all the rest of it, and then the year afterwards in 2022 they'll continue, go back on their track, give us the Deathly Hallows sets, and then that's when they'll decide, okay, do we end it here, or do we start it again in 2023, and give us re-releases of Hagrid's Hawk, the Hogwarts Express, the Quidditch match, all the rest of it. I think that'll be the deciding turning point, is 2022.
I
don't think it'll end this year, because then we just won't have any Deathly Hallows sets, and it wouldn't make any sense.
Cool. Imagine if they did that. Imagine if they just after this year they just went, okay, we're going to stop doing Harry Potter sets. Imagine the uproar.
It wouldn't feel well-rounded.
It certainly wouldn't. Much. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think in terms of Deathly Hallows sets, I don't. Apart from stuff like Gringotts, which is still a possibility of getting this year, I want to throw out there as well. Obviously, we know there's a £250 or £250-ish D2C set coming out this year for Harry Potter. I don't see that being anything other than Gringotts. I know a lot. There's just rumor videos out there of it being other things. I just don't believe that for a second, that it's not Gringotts. I think they'd be silly not to do a Gringotts at this point.
Because there'd be a reason why they excluded it with Diagon Alley, because you would have thought, okay, it doesn't make sense to include it here because it's based off the Deathly Hallows, and we're not up to that stage yet. We want to give people the dragon, we want to give a big proper Gringotts, and that's why they've saved it till hopefully now, or at least next year, because they could have had it on the Diagon Alley set, sure, but then it would have been what, £600-700.
100%.
Yeah,
I think also with stuff like Gringotts, there is obviously the possibility of that being the only Deathly Hallows set that we get, and then obviously it capping off at the end of this year. Obviously, personally, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to try and drag this out whilst they're still getting sales. But obviously, we've mentioned before that Harry Potter wasn't on the top 5 of their bestsellers for this year. Which it's weird to think that Ninjago and stuff like that can beat out stuff like Harry Potter.
I suppose Ninjago's more established now.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I just don't know about Ninjago, and maybe I'll get somebody on to educate me on how popular Ninjago is.
Very popular, yeah.
But in my mind, Harry Potter should surpass that kind of stuff, and maybe Lego are looking at that and going, hey, maybe it's time to die this down. Which means, obviously, I think we could probably see it for the next 2, maybe 3 years, but then I think it would be a case of we're going to stop.
It'll be a master decision that decides it. And
yeah,
they're not going to
100%.
do remakes now, I don't believe. They'll give us, they'll give us a 20th anniversary set, they'll round up the Deathly Hallows, then that's when they'll make the decision.
Yeah, but I mean, there are still sets that, obviously we've talked about that still need to be that still do need to be made. Obviously, there's stuff like the troll bathroom scene. We have had one big fig, I guess you could call it. Obviously, it's not the traditional big fig. It's like a dedicated molded piece, and I've seen brick built solutions by stuff like TommyCBricks, and shout out to him. That build is amazing, and I'm really tempted to build it. And sometimes doing a brick built solution is better. Obviously, for any of you that you don't know, I've got a few mocks in the works, and that'll make more sense when the mock comes out. But obviously, for the people who are watching this later on and the mock is already out, you'll know what I mean when I say that sometimes the brick built solution definitely is better to a molded solution. But obviously, in terms of stuff like the troll set, you could do the same. You could do either or. You could do the minifigure, you could do a brick built solution, or you could do a brick built solution with a Lego head, which I think would be the best solution personally.
Yeah, something mixed. Yeah.
I think it works for something like the troll. Whereas it doesn't work for sort of other models. The fundamentals of re-releasing Harry Potter stuff, I think, is always going to be there. But in terms of, they've just got in my opinion, at the moment, they've just got too much stuff that they could potentially do. That it would be it'd also be dumb to say put another Hogwarts Express out there for 120 quid or something along those lines, when that 120 quid set could have been a Grimmauld Place or a Shrieking Shack,
Ministry of Magic.
Or a Ministry of Magic, something along those lines, which I feel like at the moment is probably more crucial to do,
preferable.
Considering that Harry Potter, we know Harry Potter's not going to be around forever. And I think that those are more important scenes to me at the moment than getting re-releases of stuff like a Quidditch set, Hogwarts Express. Even though personally I would love to see a re-release of the Hogwarts Express or a Quidditch set where they actually care and do it properly. Not saying that they didn't care before, but put a little bit more effort into it.
Different age range, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. They've done the one for the kids. Give us one for the adults now. Give us some 18 plus stuff. I'd love to see that, but. Like I say, there are too many scenes at the moment that they need to really focus on. Stuff like Second Task, Ministry of Magic, Troll Set, Shrieking Shack, Wolfhead Lupin. They really need to we know we're not going to get a Malfoy Manor set.
They're actually planning a Malfoy Manor back in about 2010, I think. We've seen obviously the sketches for that, but then they scrapped it.
Yeah,
maybe because it was too dark.
It's a very dark scene. I mean, I'd like another I'd like to see minifigs from it, and if you ask me, that the Malfoy Manor kind of fits the book scenario a bit more. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Because then that's like, it is away from Hogwarts. You can use that as your sort of book display, and getting minifigures. Like, you got Bellatrix, Lucius, and Narcissa as like a
if you choose 4 figures from that scene, who would your 4 be? Because mine would be Narcissa. I'm not sure I'd want another Bellatrix because we've already got one. Probably Lucius. That's all like run down because you haven't actually had that sort of Lucius before.
I mean, I would probably have the Narcissa just with the dual molded hairpiece because I know they'd do it, as well as the Lucius. In terms of like the other 2 figures, I'd probably like to see another Wormtail, and maybe a Dobby. Like,
it's already had Dobbies though.
I know, but like a sad looking Dobby. All the Dobbies, all the Dobbies we've had have been smiley, and Dobby's depressing, man. Like,
do you want a sad?
I want a sad looking Dobby because I obviously
snatch him, but I mean a sad Dobby does the job, I guess.
I mean, obviously, we know we're going to get the obviously the obvious choice is Hermione and Bellatrix. So, but I think thinking out,
I'll leave that out. Yeah.
Yeah, Lego, 1 aren't going to do that, and 2, we're probably going to get the Hermione fig in something like the tent set with probably a Horcrux and a Gryffindor sword.
Especially modern Horcrux. Yeah.
Yeah, please, Lego, if you're listening to this, if we don't get a dedicated Horcrux piece, I'm going to make a video shitting on your set.
It's the same with Gringotts. Like, it doesn't take. You can literally just give us the cup from the Quidditch set and just print a H on it. All you
said before.
H on it, and that's.
But then I said the same with the Triwizard Cup. All they have to do is make a trans blue version of that piece, and then print some silver onto it, and then you've got yourself. No, not even dual molding. Like, all you've got to do is get some silver print and print it onto a trans blue cup, and then we've got ourselves our perfect Triwizard Cup. No brick built solutions, no massive goblet that come with came with the advent calendar, as well as Cedric's CMF. Like, they missed the mark there, and I think there's definitely ways to be improved, but I'm gonna wrap this up now. Is there anything last things that you have to throw on the table quickly before we wrap up now, because we've been going for a fair while?
No, I suppose, I mean, there's obviously stuff we can talk about the new anniversary sets. We've discussed Remake's one, we've touched upon new sets, but we can go on for hours, to be honest.
Yeah, so, I know, and that's maybe we'll pick this up in a part 2, and you guys, again, if you're listening and if you got this far, let me know in the comments what you think of this series. I usually won't be doing this on on future episodes, but for the first sort of 3 here, I need to say you need to give me feedback in the comment section below. I need to know whether you guys are liking this series or not, because it really will greatly impact the channel, this kind of a series, and I need to know whether you guys are actually going to sit here and actually listen to it, or whether it's a complete waste of time.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like you say, we could talk for hours and hours and hours about even just Harry Potter alone. So if you guys are interested in other topics, throw other topics in the comment section below. I'd love to talk about, like I say, I wanted to get a bit more personal with some of my content, and this is, in my mind, the best way to do it. Because it's not presenter mode me, where it's literally just me sitting down with a mate and we talk Lego for 45 minutes to an hour, and I think that is a good way of me giving back to you guys, and giving you my opinions on stuff that I know you guys ask me, and I just don't get around to talking about in current videos, because the videos that I make are very they take a while to make, and they're very sort of specific on what I'm talking about. Whereas this can be a bit more fluid, and a bit more open to discussion, considering we talked for a very, very long time. But that's been this first episode. I guess the real question to ask now, Rosie, is: do you think the Harry Potter sets are getting worse? Yes or no?
Nope.
I would have to agree with you. I'm going to say no, even though minifigures are definitely
getting better.
I would, definitely getting better in this current wave, considering that I'd love to see a Molly Weasley with actual skirt printing, but we're still yet to see that. In terms of the sets, I think they are definitely neglecting some areas, so they could be improved. But overall, Harry Potter sets are pretty good, and I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon. But thanks for watching, everybody, guys. Well, I guess thanks for listening, everybody, guys. And I'll speak to you guys in the next one. Goodbye.